Well, I think you got I don't know, 12 guys on the depth chart or something. You think you're gonna use that many in a game, or you think it'll have to pare down a little bit in a game?
You know, I think there's 12 that can play, like you said, and it's all going to depend on the nature of the game and where we're at, how many snaps we're playing, how many we got to play in a row, who gets hurt. You know, it's just it's like we tell them every day. Heck, you got to just prepare like you're going to play. If you don't play, that's just part of it. But if you're called on, you got to be ready to go.
You have that many that are ready to contribute if needed?
I think we do. I think we do. You know, there's obviously a drop off, but I think we got 12 guys that we can get some reps out of. How good the quality will be, we'll have to see on Friday night.
As you're going through the game, you got a lot of guys in play. What are you looking for that maybe decides when you might want to sub somebody?
Well, just fresh. I mean, you know, if we get out there and we're on the field 6 plays in a row, and especially the inside guys, we need to roll them out of there. And maybe even after 4. It just depends on what the tempo of the game is, what kind of game it is. It always depends. You know, if it's a running game, then normally you can play a little bit more. If they're drop back throwing the doggone thing every snap, then and you're trying to get a good pass rush, then you got to roll them in and out quicker. So it just depends on the game, how quick we roll them.
Is this something new? I mean, for you, I mean, when you go back to Tennessee, have you always rotated
always,
people?
Always. It's been the same thing as long as I've been coaching D-line, because we expect them to run to the football, and we expect them, you know, full speed all the time, and that's our deal. If you can play full speed, we'll get somebody in for you when you get tired.
It's been nice to have Armand back out there at practice. I know that you said that you know, he's one of the leaders of not just that unit, but really the whole team.
Yeah, it's really good to have him back. Hopefully, he's not completely full speed, obviously, right now, but he will be by Friday. He's limping a little bit. He's so much better than he was 2 weeks ago. It's fun to watch him, though. He enjoys the game. The guys enjoy being around him, and he is a leader on the defense, and especially in our room.
You talked about the competition between him and JT to kind of get that start there. Do you kind of have a feeling for which way you might go yet, or does it really matter? Or?
No, to me it doesn't matter. We'll see. Come Friday, we'll see how both of them practice today. I want to see how they practice tomorrow. Our whole goal for this week was each practice just try to get a little bit better. And so we'll make a decision before the kickoff on Friday.
You said you were kind of surprised, but to find out how important he was as a leader, Armand, last year. What did you see? Where did it kind of hit you that how important he was out there?
Well, I think anytime in some of those close games when we were on the sideline and we would make the corrections, he would always say, "Hey, can I get up and go help the offense?" You know, so to see him want to get up out of the chair, get over on the sideline and cheer for the offense, and not sit there and rest. You know, he's got something a little bit different than some guys.
What do you like about him as a player? What does he bring to the field as a player?
Well, obviously he's big and he's quick. You know, he's got great quickness. He came here as a fullback and a tight end, and I think that carries into his defensive line play. When you watch him, he plays well. He plays behind his pads and he plays fast, and that's what we're looking for.
Sam said he still remembers him running a wheel route the first summer here. Can you imagine him running a wheel route?
Not at 304 pounds, I can't. No.
You know, as you said, there's going to be a drop off toward the bottom end of that line. First group, second group. How close are those two at this point?
I think they're very close. And it's just each one of them has, I think, something special. You know, and it's getting the right guys on the field at the right time with the right group. And depending on, we're going to have to see what Washington's going to do, you know, how they're going to play, what their game plan's going to be. And then I think that'll depend on who we play and how much we play them.
Sam was saying the adjustment back to end was a little bit slow going early on for him, and now he's starting to feel comfortable. You see a difference in him lately?
Yeah, I think so. Sam's like I've said time and time again, he's a great technique player. If I had all of them to play the same technique he does and with their ability, then we would be where Coach Caldwell's hair wouldn't be near as gray. They make it fun when they play like Sam does.
The offensive line likes certain continuity and likes certain players fitting with other ones. When you're deciding on who's in which group in the defense, do you have any consideration with that, or is it pretty much?
You know, I really don't. It's just, like, again, getting the feel of the game, who's playing well, who's out there. I don't think it's as important. Maybe there's some certain things we do defensively that group of guys that play together that if we run a pass rush game, for instance, if you got the same group of guys that know how this guy sets it up and that can help you some. But the rest of it, I think we're out there trying to, again, play fast. And we react. You know, it's a little bit different than the offense. You know, they know what they're doing. We just got to react to what the defense does, or the offense does.
Is Jabril ready to contribute? Is he ready to get up and do something?
I think he's had a good camp, and Jabril will play Friday night.
What you know, for
if you don't get real nervous between now and then.
There probably aren't a ton of them on this team because there's so much experience. But a guy like that, it's going to be his first time in this kind of environment, first time playing in a college game. What do you tell him to get him ready for what he's going to face?
Hey, I don't know what you can tell him. You can't tell him anything. Just go play. You know, he's already worried about it. So just don't worry about it. Just go play. You're good enough to play, or I wouldn't put you out there. You're ready. So go play. Cue the ball and don't jump off sides.
Any horror stories over the years of guys who just couldn't quite handle it that first night?
You know, not really. I think most of the guys, I mean, they've played this game long enough, and they've been in your camp, and especially him, as he's not a true freshman because he was here in the spring. He'll be fine. He's got to have the confidence. I got confidence in him.
I know it's almost kind of cliche at this point in time in camp to talk about, you know, getting ready to hit somebody else. But on the defensive line, you know, when you're a wide receiver, you can run pass patterns. When you're a quarterback, you can throw. But on the defensive line, really so much of fall camp is kind of focused on technique and all that stuff. Is this the chance to finally kind of turn it loose and play at top gear and all that?
I think it is. I think any time that you get out of camp in this first game, and we're concerned on how well we will tackle. And because of the live work you've had, and then obviously they got a great running back, a couple of great running backs, and we're going to have to do a great job tackling. I think that's always our biggest concern. And it's so funny because you don't hit the quarterback the whole time. I don't think we ever hit him in the spring either. And so now, all at once, you've got to tell them, like you said, to go full speed, don't let up. You get to actually hit the guy with the ball now. So it does. I mean, every once in a while, I think all teams across the country, you watch them sometimes on that first ball game or two, you'll see somebody actually come around the quarterback maybe and, you know, let up sooner than you'd like for them to. I think it takes a little getting used to, but we'll be okay.
And a lot of talk about them not knowing who their quarterback is, but you know, obviously their offensive line is rebuilt as well. Have you gotten to study much there? Can you find enough to get an idea what you're getting into there?
Well, they have a couple guys that played a lot for them last year. Obviously, their starting center and their left tackle. You know, both of those guys played a lot. The center actually played guard last year, and I think he was voted one of the team captains yesterday, which tells a lot about him. So they got a lot of experience in those two guys, and then you throw the two tight ends in there with them. And we watched some of their spring game, obviously, and tried to study some of the guys. It was a little bit tougher, but it was you can get a little bit on them, but not as much as what we'd really be able to study what kind of player they are.
When you guys have, I think Armand started more games by himself than that whole offensive starting five for UW combined in their careers. What does experience do for you guys kind of right out the gate in terms of, I know nerves usually run high in the season opener and stuff like that. Does experience play benefit at all there?
Well, it's going to be interesting to tell. It's so hard to tell. Every kid's different. I mean, some of them step into it and just go play like they've been there their whole time. And some of them, it bothers a little bit. So we'll see. Remember, Peyton Manning walked in and played pretty good when he was a freshman.
I know that this is only your second year here, but when Boise State used to go play the SEC schools and the Big Ten schools and Pac-12 schools, it used to be kind of a storyline was how they'd be outsized on the lines. And if you look at it, that's no longer the case. And in most instances, you guys are bigger than UW actually. And just curious, Boise State's development over the years to get in that position.
Well, I think they've done a great job recruiting. I mean, that's what it comes down to. And then after they get here, being able to coach them and mold them into good players and good people, hopefully off the field. So,